I have an article up here, which is from the Wall Street Journal. It says Powell talks up progress on putting rate cuts back into view. Woo, woo, woo. All right, so everybody's been talking about rate cuts. We started back in 2022 with the Federal Reserve increasing interest rates because we've been in an inflationary environment. So they increase interest rates to slow the economy down so that way inflation can get under control and we don't get these crazy prices on food and energy and all these other things like housing and crazy and all that. So they've increased interest rates from 0 all the way to 5.5. In the 1970s, early I think it was 1980, 1981, interest rates went to 18%, 20%. So now they didn't want to have to do that. So they increased rates and they held it for a while. And everybody's been waiting to get them cut so people can buy houses at lower interest rates. They can buy cars at lower rates. Our economy moves a lot with debt, if you notice that. So anytime that interest rates go up, then that affects debt. So right now, interest rate cuts are back into use. So they increase, and now everybody's looking for them to cut, but they don't want to cut too fast. It's like a Goldilocks thing, right? Not too hot, not too cold. They want the economy to be just right. But it's starting to become just right. There's an article here from CNBC that says U.S. economy added 206,000 jobs. It was slightly more than expected, as you can see here, but the unemployment rate rose to 4.1%. Why is that important? Well, because with the unemployment rate going up, that means that the economy is starting to slow down. And unfortunately, some of the people have lost their jobs because of the Fed putting the brakes on the economy. So that's actually a good sign for inflation that it's getting under control. That means they can cut rates and hopefully the unemployment rate doesn't get too high. It can stay at a healthy level where people can still find work, but there's not so many job openings, which has been another problem that I can save for another day. So a few information from the article that said that most of the job creation was in the government, healthcare, social assistance, and construction. Business services, professional business services, and retail trade were the ones that lost jobs, those in those areas. Now, Fed officials did signal that they're not in a rush to cut rates, so they're waiting for the right timing, but they are seeing good signs like slowing wage growth, reduced pricing power of companies, and increased consumer sensitivity of price increases. So this actually goes together. So companies were increasing their prices to keep their profit margins the same, but consumers were paying those prices. But now consumers aren't paying them. Consumers are saying prices are too high. I'm going to cut back. I'm not going to buy those things. I'm going to start, instead of paying these prices at these high-end retailers, these high-end companies, I'm going to shop at lower, more affordable retailers or buy more affordable products. So that's actually forcing companies to put on the brakes on price increases. There's an expectation that inflation would continue to decline over the next year, and most officials expect 1 or 2 cuts this year. Now, what's the size of the cuts? Probably a quarter point, but it all is going to depend on what the economy continues to do.